Hello, everyone. This is the very first episode of the Totally Not a Podcast. The inaugural episode, guys. We're here. We made it.
We're doing big things.
I'm so incredibly excited to announce that I've won this award. I would like to thank my friend Jacob here, the host of the show.
Wow.
My friend Connor here. He's here. And also, I would love to thank myself because I always feel like I'm worthy of thanks. And anyway, one more time, take it away.
Yeah, as he said, I am your host, Jake. I am here with my always and forever cohorts, Kiba. That's you right there. I'm looking at you, man.
That's me.
Don't
Hello.
point at me.
You did point. You did point at Connor, who is also here.
That's me.
Connor, how does it feel, man? This is probably the first thing that people will see that you're in.
Yeah.
And by
yeah,
see, I mean
probably.
here, because this is a podcast.
It's cool. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, I'm so fucking excited for you to be actively in content. This is such a good feeling for us to be recording and doing something today like this.
I am too. I've actually been looking forward to it a lot.
This has been a long time coming. This was like actually the first thing that we talked about doing before anything else was, this whole project was just going to be a podcast originally. This would have been, what, a year and a half ago? Something like that. We had originally started this as a movie podcast that we recorded 2 episodes in, I believe. That
We recorded 2 episodes in, and the first one was fucking wonderful. We had awesome chemistry. It felt great. We got an hour and 45 minutes in. We cut it for the day. Jake went home. I sat down to listen to it, and it was dog shit. It was fucking awful.
That's usually how things
Yeah.
go. It sounds great in the moment, and then afterwards you go, wow, what the fuck?
Oh no, we were still great. It was the fucking, everything was terrible with the audio quality.
Yeah.
The mic back then, I don't know if you remember, it was popping a bunch with our S's. That was before I had really got that down. So every time you would say anything with a T or an S, it would pop. And anytime I would say anything with a T or an S, it would wash out.
It's the sibilance. Is that what that is? Yeah.
See, that was your first time doing anything together, though. You still hadn't gotten chemistry with each other. You're just figuring out the technicalities of it.
Yeah, and luckily our chemistry was great for that episode, which is the reverse of the second time we recorded, which was we weren't fully developed enough to understand that repeating things is a good thing when it comes to content creation.
Yeah.
And the second time we recorded, we sat down, and about 20 minutes in, you could tell we both ran out of steam.
Yes, for sure. We spoilers for a video that will never ever come out, but it was we were talking about The Matrix, a movie that we were both very hyped on.
Yeah,
we both
and
loved it. I thought for sure, I was like, oh, we'll just sit down for an hour and talk about The Matrix. Easy. Very difficult.
Yeah.
Very
See, the problem is we both had a lot of very similar views on The Matrix. So 20 minutes in, we both realized we were speaking the same things to each other in different words.
We were just agreeing with each other a whole bunch, and there was not much conversation.
We were very
happening.
contrarian, stylistically agreeing with each other.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
like, you're right, but my wording is better.
That sounds about right. And even this, I'm not expecting this to be the best quality. If we keep doing this, by the time a year comes around, we're going to look at this first episode and be like, God, you can tell we didn't know what we were doing. At least me, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, well, you don't really know things.
Yeah. I don't know shit about fuck, really.
No,
we know
absolutely not. But it's great to pretend.
It is. It makes us feel superior.
Nothing
I like that.
Listen, nothing makes you less scared than being around someone more scared than you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Michael Scott taught me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is terrify someone nearby, and then I'm the strongest man in the room now.
I would say a good situation to be in would be one person more scared than you and another person way confident in what we're all doing. You're just that middle ground. You're
So
not
out of the
disappointed.
three of us-
You haven't expected too much.
Who is who out of the three of us?
I would say I would be the one that's scared.
Again, there is a gun right over there. Kiba, this whole thing, Totally Nada, is honestly kind of your brainchild.
Yeah.
It came from you. It's something that I feel like we both developed together. But honestly, this was something that you came up with and approached me a long time ago that I went, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, we're never ever going to talk about this again. I may not even see this guy ever again. And then like the next time I saw you, you were like, yeah, so I've been thinking about this idea. And I was like, oh, this gestated for a week and we're still here. Okay.
So we actually have not done a whole lot of reminiscing or talking on that in the last 2 years, since we also have someone here who was not a part of
He was not present for those
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
Give me your side of how this started.
I remember we were at work because for those of you who may not know, which is probably everyone, Kiba and I used to work together. That was, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
A little over 2 years ago?
Just over 2 years
Just
ago.
over 2 years ago. Yeah, we worked together, and there was one day that you came up to me and you were like, "Hey, someone had mentioned something. I have this idea for like a podcast. Do you just want to come hang out and we'll talk and just kind of try and get something? I just want to put something out. Do you want to come and do this?" And I was like, "Sure. I'd never thought of this before, but it sounds like fun." And again, I was like, "Okay. Never gonna ever bring this up again. It's just one of those ideas. It's the, man, we should start a band kind of conversations that like never go anywhere, but it's fun to talk about in the
And
moment."
I'm absolutely the kind of dude that you would look at and go, "Okay, dude, whatever."
Yeah.
Truthfully, that's how it was on my end too. You approached me at work and was like, "Hey man, me and my buddy got this thing going on. You want to be a part of it?" And at first I was just like, "Yeah, dude, that'd be sick to be a part of that." Whatever, not expecting much. And then some time later you were like, "Hey man, set up some time, like let's come by, let's do something." And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I gave you like a month, and I gave you a link to the channel, and I gave you like a solid month to check it out and see. And then a month later, I was like, "Hey man, so this week I was actually thinking that if you could shut the fuck up and make some time to come over to my house, it would be super fucking sick."
I will say one thing that I really appreciate about you, Kiba, is that again, despite the way that you look and people might perceive you, which I know sounds like I'm going somewhere negative, I'm not. You are very intentional with the things you say. Like, you always say something, and for the most part, 90% of the time, you follow through with that shit. I really do appreciate that.
Sometimes I get really high, and I don't. But then there's that other like 90% of the time that I have a cool idea, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that. That's a thing that I'm going to make happen, and then I do somehow, typically. Or sometimes I spend months learning about something, and then at the end go, "Huh, not for me."
I actually don't want to do this.
Yeah. This whole thing, totally not it came from a movie podcast that then kind of turned over into video games. We were going to play Resident Evil 4 OG.
Yeah. What originally, if I remember correctly, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I originally started with me coming to tell you a story about something that happened to me the night before. And then at the end of the story, we both laughed really hard. And I went, "Dude, we gotta start a podcast."
Yes, I vaguely remember the story that you had told me.
It was a bank story about a card. I'll tell it later, either in this episode or episode 2. But I remember telling this story, and me and Jake were just kind of ad-libbing as we go. And at the end of it, we were just laughing so unnecessarily hard for two guys standing in the paper section of work. You know, like, just two dudes. It was like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Just fucking standing over there. One of us high as shit. One of us just trying to survive sober. And just laughing as hard as we could.
Oh man, I worked overnights for a little bit, and I just could not do that, man. That was too much for me.
Me and Jake's, our backstory, I'm going to divulge some details. I was Jake's boss by default, so I was over some other areas of the store, and then at one point some things got shifted around, and then all of a sudden one morning, Jake technically worked for me, and I didn't really know who he was that much. We had a nice, pleasant existence, completely separate, keeping in our own lane from each other.
Yeah. I think there had been a few moments where we walked by each other and went the cool guy, like, head nod. And I think that was about as far as our relationship had gone.
We used to do that every single morning because I would unload the trucks at the place we worked, and the area he worked in was right back where the unload was, and we would always do the cool guy nod because I always had a hat on and a headphone in one ear, and he typically either had a headphone in one ear or he was just zoned out, just heavy at work. So it would just nod, and both of us back to work.
Yeah.
I'm sure you both have seen the memes about how quickly dudes become friends with each other, and that's how it starts. Walking by, just kind of saying what's up, and then it turns into a little handshake, and that turns into what's up, how's your day, and whatever.
And the next thing you know, you're sucking each other's dick in the freezer.
Exactly.
Well, it's a fast progression.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was like my employee by default. And one morning I just went over there to talk to him to make sure everything was going good in his area. And we had one conversation where we kind of just came to an understanding like, oh yeah, I'm just not going to fuck with this guy. He does his job well. So I'm just going to leave him the fuck alone and let him do his thing. And he became like my go-to guy because I just knew he was doing his job well. And I would just go over to his area and just talk shit. I would walk over to him and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And he'd be like, well, I'm almost done. I'm like, cool, listen to this.
I remember the first conversation where I officially went, okay, this guy's cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you probably remember it too. We were talking about something and we were like, man, wouldn't it be nice to retire? Not in our lifetime, no way. And you said, man, my retirement plan, shotgun at 40.
Yeah.
And I went, Gus Sorolla? And you went, whoa, you know who that is? And then that was it, man.
Yeah.
That was it.
There were like 6 other dudes at the front of the line. And this was one morning that I remember you came to help with the unload.
Yeah.
And it was one of those mornings that really made me respect you as somebody I worked with because you looked at me deadpan at the beginning of the morning and you were like, hey, I'm only doing this for an hour and a half. And me as this guy's, I am his boss. I looked at him and I went,
No bragging.
yeah, no, I looked at him and I went, yeah, dude, whatever you want. 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever you want.
Anything for you, dude, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I basically worked for Jake those mornings. I was like, please, dude, I need your help. Anything you need, I got you. It doesn't matter. Anything.
I feel it would be a very similar vibe if you were my boss as well.
Yeah, it was awesome because there was never a single moment in the entire time we worked together where it felt like I was your boss.
Right.
Every single time I would come over there to ask him to do something, it was this very mature conversation of like, hey, dude, how's your workload today? Okay, do you think you'll have time for this? No? All right, I'll ask someone else. The way a work environment should be when people communicate well about how much they have to do and how long it'll take them to do it.
And have some semblance of respect for each other, even if it's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jake can tell you, that job made me gray.
Yeah.
Stress you out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
This man aged like Dorian Gray right in front of me.
yeah.
Nice.
I had a couple people that worked there that were just hell. And then there was a couple people like Jake that just made my life so pleasant and awesome when I would go over there to talk to them.
One of the very first conversations was, we had like already kind of developed some sort of kind of like
Camaraderie.
friendship, some sort
Yeah.
of camaraderie. And you had mentioned like, oh, hey, I put an album out this morning. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, see ya. And I was like, whoa, wait, what?
What do you mean you put out an album?
I was like, what? What is happening? I had no idea. You were just so like nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I was at a point in my life where I was struggling to show or tell anyone about my music. And
Even mentioning it was like, oh god.
it was a win for me, though. It was like, I fucking told someone today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like right before we left. It was at like 11 a.m. that morning, right before everybody headed home. And I walked by Jake and I was like, hey, man, I feel like I should tell someone this. This morning I put out an album. And I'm really fucking proud of that. That's pretty rad. Anyway, I'll catch you later, dude.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And then he clocked out and went home.
Did you check it out?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think you had shown me the DistroKid page or whatever
Yeah,
for it. And I saw your name and I remember I looked you up on Spotify and I listened to your album on the way home. I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was some rough stuff, but it was fun. And I put it together in like 3.5 weeks.
It goes back to starting somewhere. Their first projects are always going to seem shitty looking back at it, you know?
Yeah, I think I really caught Jake off guard when we worked together because we worked together for a year. And then at the very tail end of it, I was like, oh, also, I put out multiple songs and an album this year, and I do some cool videography stuff, and I built this motorcycle and all this other cool stuff.
I used to be in a band and I went and toured across the country. Okay, see ya. And it's like, whoa, man. My man just slips him in there and then just gets out before he can get anything back.
Yeah, I remember the first time you came over to record with me, I could feel the tension leave your body when you came in and saw that I was like setting up a thing.
Yes, that it was very professional.
Yeah, like you came over to my house, we hung out outside and smoked, and then we came in and I sat down and I was like, hold on. And I just started plugging shit in and moving things around and I set the mic up and everything, and I could like very viscerally feel you going, okay, so this is not going to be all me.
Okay,
Someone
yeah.
else is helping.
Yeah, which
This is not a guy assuming that I'm going to come in and do everything.
Which, I mean, I know you've worked with other people on projects of varying scale, but it is the absolute worst whenever you are pushed into that position of, okay, I have to set everything up. I have to explain everything. I have to do everything. Not that there's anything bad, because everyone's learning, everyone's at a different stage, but man, it does put a lot of pressure to have just one person with all the knowledge and everyone else going, just waiting.
That is me right now. This is
Yeah.
the first thing I've ever really been a part of in this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And it's a
So-
stressful position to be in. It honestly is. Without,
It's a little nerve-wracking. Sorry.
yeah. No, yeah.
Well, this is a podcast. You're supposed to talk to, my dude.
True.
Yeah.
I've kind of been letting you guys go because you're talking about beginnings and stuff,
Yeah.
but I chime in when I can.
Well, since we kind of got a little off track earlier with talking about the beginnings, Jake came over, we sat down and we recorded 2 things that did not work. They were bad. And then the next time Jake came over, we sat down and had a very serious conversation where I basically said, hey, here is the list of things that I want to do. And Jake also said, these are the things that I would like to do. What are our options of things we can find that we can hone in on and get good at to help us do this later on? And the one thing we landed on that we both really wanted to do was gameplay stuff. We connected super heavily over that and our personal connection with a company called Rooster Teeth and their offshoots like Funhouse and Sugar Pine 7. I mean,
And I mean, Achievement Hunter, too.
yeah,
I mean,
Achievement Hunter,
technically
Let's
an
Play,
offshoot, right?
yeah. I mean, all of these massive, I mean, I say conglomerates, they're gone now, but they were at the time. They were the,
R.I.P. R.I.P.
yeah,
by the way, yeah.
yeah, it still hurts my heart in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. Yeah, we just connected over those things and said, we want to do that. Whatever the fuck that is, we're doing that now. That's the thing. So how do we do that and get good at it? Because we clearly have to build our chemistry and we wanted to do it the way they did it. So we sat down and I actually just kind of combed through the old annals of Rooster Teeth's history. And then the next week when we got together, we sat down together and said, all right, this is what we're capable of right now. With the equipment we have and the skills we have, this is what we can do. Let's just start doing it.
The list of things that we came up with to do that we still want to do, is long. We haven't done any of them because we don't have the means to.
Yeah.
And I think you are in the same mindset where I don't want to put anything out that's completely half-assed.
No.
I want to go in with a whole ass on everything.
With a
100%.
whole ass.
Yeah, one full butthole each time.
Every single time. So a lot of these projects that, do you want to talk about some of the stuff that, or do you want to?
Oh, no, yeah, I'd love to.
So one of the big things that we've been talking about that Kiba has pretty much primed and ready to go is we have these sort of video essays that we want to start diving into that I think we are now in our current setup kind of at the position where we can start doing them.
Yeah, right now we're at the place where it's time to sit down and just get the logistics of making the video set up. And Connor here actually is going to be helping with a majority of the workload for editing those. And I'm
Yes.
super excited to get him on that.
I am too. Yeah.
Yes. I've got my own little project that I'm working on as kind of like a beginner thing. I've got a tarantula collection, and I'm just coming up with some spider videos, feedings, rehousings, maintenance, different stuff.
He has this video with all of their molted skins, and it's absolutely disgusting in a good way.
Oh yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
But it's cool to me. I like it.
They make rain sounds.
Yeah.
What went wrong in your life? Man, oof, yikes.
Man, actually, if you guys have time for a story real quick,
Please.
I had a girlfriend down in Florida, and she was deathly afraid of spiders. I was not cool with them back in the day, but not like she was. My birthday was coming up, and I was saying, dude, for my birthday, you should get me a tarantula. And she was like, fuck no, absolutely not. I am not going to go out and spend money on a big-ass spider for you. And I laughed about it and thought, that's that. My birthday comes around, and she comes into the house with a terrarium with a spider in it and whatever. And at first I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this thing? Why did you buy this? I don't want this. And within a week...
Jake is visibly cringing right now.
But yeah, I just thought, why did you buy this? And I just kept staring at it, and within a week, I had it chilling on my chest while I was playing video games and stuff, and ultimately just fell in love with it. And while I still lived in Florida, I had a collection of about 40 of them of all shapes and sizes, came from different regions of the world. Had to move away, so I don't have that collection anymore, but since I've been here in Oklahoma, I've built another collection, and I've got about 30 of them right now.
You know that meme where it says, a list of things if an intruder breaks in, and it like plays the Doom OST rip and tear, and it like releases your Roomba and it turns all the lights off so the Roomba will trip people. Just imagine adding release the spiders to that list, and it's just the terrarium opens and 40 tarantulas crawl out.
You would have to have like a voice thing saying release the spiders so people hear it and just start panicking.
Honestly, no. The lights stay on, rip and tear still starts, and you just see them coming.
See, I would say strobe lights. So everything's like flashing and you see them coming out real slow.
Nothing would terrify me more than 40 tarantulas.
I would turn around. I would walk away.
There is one that I have. It's an adult female. It's a Socotra Island blue baboon. And long story short, they're known to live very successfully communally. So I took it to a friend's house who had a male, and I made him fuck. And I was hoping to have babies, and I was going to let them all grow up together in the bigger enclosure, and there was going to be like 70 to 100 of them in there.
God.
And I would have thought that was some of the coolest shit in the world, just having on display in my living room. A big ass tank with 70 spiders in there.
I would lock myself in the bathroom and then call the police on myself.
There's a guy on Instagram who has the world's largest communal setup, and he claims to have about 700 of them in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not fucking silence your phone?
I guess I didn't.
Oh, what a fool. What a fool.
Fucking idiot.
I was so caught up with Steam, and I still never got logged in, and I just put it down. I thought, fuck this thing.
Fuck. Vamping back into the channel starting. So, yeah, me and Jake just kind of started doing gameplay stuff. It's been about a year.
We had a solid year of recordings and basically tests.
I can tell you we had 9 exact months.
Yeah.
We had 9 months of just recording videos and me editing, and then recording videos and Jake editing. And a bulk of it, I'm going to be honest, the bulk of it was me because Jake had a lot of editing experience already. So most of the learning was me kind of getting up to par with him at that point.
Which I felt bad just dumping all that on your plate, but at the same time, it was less work for me. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And it lets you, you learn.
At the time, I worked overnight at a hotel, and I had pretty much 30 hours a week to edit while I was at work because I only had 2 hours of work each night. So I was literally editing all night, pretty much 5 nights a week. So I got good pretty quick.
Yeah.
And now we're at a level where me and Jake both can pass projects off to each other pretty confidently with no issue because I wouldn't say we're at the same skill level, but I feel pretty close.
I think we're right
You
there.
definitely still have more color grading experience than me,
Yeah.
but that's just experience, you know. I still understand how the sliders work.
I bring this one this way. The screen gets more blue. Oh, okay.
Your eyes are just more attuned to that.
But yeah, we had a large chunk of videos that just never, ever came out, never saw the light
I feel
of day.
confident saying we have 20 videos, maybe 25 videos that just didn't come out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still time. You can always put them on.
no,
Go back to those are gone forever.
Yeah, the purpose of those videos was not to put them out. It was to get good enough to put videos out.
Okay, that
And
makes sense.
I think that was largely beneficial for us.
I mean, still, even with that being said, when you get big and successful, you could always say, hey guys, this is actually just a little bonus content. This is stuff we created before we ever came out as a channel and decided to start doing stuff. So
Except I think those are literally gone.
Some of them are still there. And, whatever that editing software I had was.
Oh, yeah, no.
Subtitle. Yeah, Wiseguy. There it is. But yeah, it just kind of was a slow climb of us figuring it out. But I had a lot of other production experience in the past from starting things, so I felt confident going into this that I could start something. I just needed other people to be there with me.
And be excited.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Have a similar kind of energy and passion for it.
The excitement and the energy is the biggest thing because I can do, and I mean this in no disrespectful way. I know you could do it all on your own too. So you could do with the right amount of experience, but I could do it all on my own. I just don't have the physical energy to do that.
No bragging.
Yeah. No, none. Seriously, Jake could do it all on his own too. He has the same skills I have editing wise.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it's just one of those things where the extra people make a big difference. That energy, that collaborative feeling makes a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, just this right here with the three of us. I mean, it's nice. It's nice having that third person to help balance things out. It's still a learning process, I think, for all three of us because it's only one extra person, but 3 people is still different than 2 people.
Yeah, see, at this point, we've obviously started this podcast, and then I think all 3 of us have recorded 2, maybe 3 videos together, gameplay videos. So I still consider it the very beginning of me.
Yeah, and I mean, that's good. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted someone that we liked and that liked us and liked the idea of what we do, and we'll build them up from there.
See, as a YouTube channel is something that I have thought of starting myself and kind of saying again, mostly related around spider content, but I have thought about coming up with a second channel for like reactionary content, just different stuff, trying different stuff out until something somewhat works. And so once you approached me and said, hey, we're already doing this, do you want to be a part of it? Like I said earlier, I was like, oh, dude, absolutely. But again, kind of thought, we'll see how far it actually goes, but it's going farther than I ever thought it would already.
Speaking of that, that's a good way to transition into this. We've heard your beginning. Go ahead and just tell us how you got started into this.
It is actually very similar to Jake's story. I was working, and then you came into the place and started working at the same place I was, and then we kind of just started talking a little more, and you brought up the fact that you guys had a YouTube channel and these ideas of things that you wanted to do, and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it, and said, yeah, absolutely. And for the third time, just kind of thought, we'll see how far this actually gets. But here we are, and I'm having fun with it. I'm glad to be a part of it. It's just super cool.
Yeah.
Happy to be a part of it.
Fuck yeah. So you're, as we've all said a couple times now, pretty early into your inception into content creation.
Yeah.
But it's, honestly, it's all chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. Everything else is secondary to just how well we fit. I mean, one of the first things that we bonded over was Rooster Teeth. And I mean, the original kind of group of the founding fathers, if you want to call them that, Jeff and Matt, Bernie.
Jeff, Matt, Bernie, Gus, and Joel.
Yeah. I mean, again, it didn't matter what they were doing. It's just they were funny together,
Yeah.
and you wanted to hang out with them.
Yeah.
So it was all about just the chemistry. That's what it comes down to.
You nailed it. It didn't matter what they were doing. It's just that they were doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanted to watch.
Yeah.
You wanted to be there.
Well, and go ahead.
See, when we're at work, I can tell that we've got good chemistry because, first of all, we just have a lot of fun, talking a lot of shit, goofing off, whatever. But even the people around us will just kind of point at us like Aaron. He'll point and say, all goddamn day with these two. And it's just funny, so people notice it, you know?
Yeah. We constantly have guests at work cracking up because of stupid shit we're doing to each other. I immediately knew you guys would have good chemistry. And I remember telling Jake about you before, like a month before the first time you came over to record. I was like, I got this guy. You're going to love him. You're going to love him. Very funny. Many jokes. Good guy. You're going to love him. Got him out
I'm still waiting for him to show up, honestly.
I remember Jake being like, are you sure? Are you sure?
It is nerve-wracking. I
It's-
do find myself getting nervous and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a mindset you have to be in, and if you're not able to get there, I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how it is
I mean,
sometimes.
In my head, I'm very confident that just the more time I spend in front of a camera, the more comfortable I'm going to get with it.
Yes, sir. That's how it is.
Just like anything else in the world.
And I mean, from your perspective, what's the difference between me and Jake on camera and off camera?
There's a camera.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just lean into who we are super heavily on camera. There's not like a character we're playing. We're not flipping a switch and turning it on.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy, but we're just who we are, very inflated on camera.
Yes, for
And
sure.
that's why it drains you so much. And I feel like a lot of people dig too deep into it and they try to be someone for the camera
Right.
instead of just being them.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to come and watch all our videos for the person we pretend to be. They're going to come watch all these videos to get the same energy they got from old Rooster Teeth stuff, where it's a
Exactly.
bunch of dudes being who they are, and who they are is just fucking funny.
Yeah.
For me, the first couple times that we did anything in front of a camera, I kind of, for lack of better terms, I would say I almost just froze. Like, oh God, who am I? What do I do in these situations? I don't know what to do or say, blah, blah, blah.
And we had that too.
There's a lot of,
Again, 9 months of videos that didn't come out.
yeah, there's a lot of getting into a recording, and halfway through it, me and Jake would realize the recording wasn't working out, but we wouldn't be willing to stop. And it's just wasted time and wasted energy. And sometimes you're not there and that one's not working, and you just have to be willing to go, no, not today.
I would not say that's wasted time or energy. That is just experience.
It's learning. Yeah.
Yeah, it taught us when to say no to ourselves.
It might not be good footage to put out, but it's good for something.
And it also taught us what games are good for videos, and that's a hard lesson to learn.
What games are good for videos?
Because a lot of games just don't translate well to content, and our style of content also just doesn't mesh well with certain styles of gameplay.
I can see that.
And that's okay. We just have to cater our play style towards our content style, and that's sometimes a little tricky to do.
What do you think has been the best style for us?
Of game.
Of game.
Absolutely survival horror so far.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
The two Resident Evil series that we have put out, and I guess are currently putting out, have for sure been my favorite thing
Oh,
we've
yeah.
done.
I think Resident Evil 4 OG is some of the best content we've done, period. And part of the reason I'm glad we waited is because now we can retouch it with him. But, oh, dude, it's going to be so good.
Man, I gotta say, I used to love playing horror games. I played fucking a few of the Resident Evils. I played Dead Space and just a couple different games. But recently, the past year, I guess, I downloaded Resident Evil 2, the remake of it. Basically, these games are getting scary for me, man. I start getting anxious, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to go on.
I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
He said, I don't have mommy and daddy.
Now, if my girlfriend's home, I'll be a little more brave, but
but not by much.
He said, I'm not going to be a bitch.
if she's like asleep on the couch behind me and all the lights are off and it's quiet and I get scared.
Yeah, I'm a slut for games I find even remotely hard. You guys have probably noticed that I have a bad habit of putting hundreds of hours into a game I find interesting or challenging.
I am guilty of it.
Yeah.
A game like Resident Evil 4 Remake that we have played that has a runtime of
8.5 hours.
that you have sunk, 300 hours into?
Yeah.
Like,
Man, Generation Zero, I've probably got at least 200 hours in that game.
Hey, Jake, do you want to tell Connor about you coming over to play the Resident Evil Remake 2 days after it came out and that experience?
So I don't know anything about Resident Evil. My whole experience with this franchise was playing the first 3/4 of Resident Evil 5 whenever it came out. I went, I don't like this. Put it down, never picked it up again, never once thought about Resident Evil. I met Kiba, and the man's obsessed. Loves him some Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And he had been telling me for basically as long as I've known him, hey man, they're remaking Resident Evil 4. It's like the original is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. I'm so excited about this. It's coming. And I was like, cool, man. I don't give a shit. But cool. This game comes out, and he's like, hey, it came out today. You're coming over in a few days. I want to show it to you. And I was like, cool. Yeah, okay. I was picturing him like booting it up for the first time and us like going through it and checking it out. I go over and he's like, yeah, so I'm on my second playthrough already. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, I think he had sunk out of the like 48 hours between it coming out. I think he would put like 23 or something into
23 and a half hours into it when Jake came over. I had beat it on professional difficulty already. And I was in the middle of the easier run through the hard difficulty. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I beat it on hard and I was going through my professional run because you have to unlock professional mode by beating it on hard.
Yeah.
I remember when Guitar Hero 3 came out. I got it for Xbox 360. I went over to my buddy's house and we played through the entire co-op mode that day, played the whole game, loved it. The next day, I went home and played the entire solo career, fucking beginning to end, and I loved it. I played Guitar Hero religiously.
And that game has a time limit because those songs have a set amount of time you have to play them for.
Yeah.
Counting for menu time, there you must have been playing for like 10 hours. Like 10 hours of just listening to shitty butt rock and Eminem songs.
I don't think it was 10 hours, but it was probably a good 5.
Yeah,
you know?
they've only got like 200 songs or something.
Yeah.
I only played through the actual story mode so I could get all the songs, and then I went back and played a bunch of the bonus content.
I played so much Guitar Hero as well. Yeah, that run on the 360 where they were putting out a game every 6 months.
Yeah.
That was the time to be alive.
And those fucking instruments, dude.
I've been looking into getting my hands on the old Xbox 360 Explorer
Because you can use it on the USB.
USB.
Yeah.
Those things, if you can find them, people know their worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are expensive.
There's a
to find.
YouTuber that I adore named Mitten Squad. RIP Mitten Squad. I adore you. I still watch your content and love it. It's sad that you are dead. He beat all of Fallout New Vegas with the controller, the Explorer
guitar,
controller, and it was brutal.
Nice.
Watching him play it, I suffered with him.
At least you were there. That's nice of you.
What is your background, Kiba?
So I actually dropped out of high school so that I could pursue a music career, and lo and behold, that did not work out. I know, shot in the dark. Who would have guessed? But dropped out of school, did the music thing for about a year. So dropped out, kind of toured around, did various different shows. I say toured around. At that point in time, it was just states surrounding us, meaning local shows, going to Texas, going to Kansas, actually, which is a shithole.
I feel like you're downplaying this, bro. That's still a tour. I mean, that's still touring around. Yeah. Even though you were in a small band, big air quotes, and you were doing a very local show thing, man, that's still a tour. That's still way more than a lot of people do. That's still very something to be proud of.
Yeah, that was fun. That was painstaking. It was tough doing all that. Dropping out young, working a full-time job, balancing that with finding a place to live in between, traveling around and stuff. And things didn't pan out with that band, of course. I ended up living in Norman for a short period of time and starting a small solo project and reconvening with another band. I don't want to put any bands' names out there just because I don't need any of that stuff following me here.
Sure you do.
Yeah. But there was a lot of work. It was a lot of, I was working 40 hours a week at a job, and then you come home and you're practicing a set, or you're recording, or you're programming backing tracks and lights, and then 2 nights a week you're practicing, and then 1 night a week you're traveling 6 hours somewhere to play a show. Then you come back, you sleep for 3 hours, go to work. Then you get off work, you program some more lighting for a set that you're doing next weekend in Texas, and then you work for 4 more days, you practice for 2 days, you drive 6 hours to Texas, you play a show, and you slave, man. It was rough. It was a lot of, if you don't do it, no one's going to do it.
It is a lot of hard work and stuff, and might not seem like there was much of a payout, but that's a lot of experience that a lot of people never get. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen things and been to places that most people will never see or go to.
Yeah, and I got to do it as a minor, so I didn't get to drink or do anything fun for a lot of it.
Drinking sucks anyway.
We played shows where when I wasn't on stage, I had to be in the smoking area because I was under 21. So even with a mark, I couldn't be on the floor or by the bar. So I was either on stage, green room, or in the smoking area.
Wow.
So they were...
I'm surprised they were that strict about it.
Oh, yeah. So there was a lot of time that I spent doing work for other people because I wasn't able to enjoy the fruits of the labor. So I would be out in the van or truck or wherever we were, and I'd be on my laptop and I'd be programming something or writing a new song or editing something or doing some social media management. Or I'd be talking to promoters and vendors and trying to book new shows or make sure that we're getting the right cut we're supposed to be getting from the show we played. Or if we found out we're not getting paid, how the fuck are we going to pay to get home?
So doing all the work then.
Yeah. I can't say I blame everyone else, but yeah, it was a tough time. I learned a lot. It made me very much who I am today. I have some wonderful experience, and you guys, having spent a lot of time around me, have seen the musical touch it's given me and my ability to just kind of do it all. When it comes to writing a song, I'll sit down, and if I have an idea in my head, I can do it.
I've noticed that about you.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been many times where it's like, oh, hey, I wrote this in 15 minutes. What do you think? And I'm like, man, it sounds like a fucking song you could put out right now. Like, yeah.
Or like today, for instance, you came over and you're like, I like this song that's in one of our new videos. I'm like, cool, I wrote it last week.
And you've shown me like 6 different songs that you've written kind of the same thing in like 15, 20 minutes in just a night. And it's like 6 different genres.
Yeah,
and it all sounds good. It all sounds like he said something you could potentially just put out.
Yeah, and I'm working hard to get over that hump of not putting things out and not showing people. And it's just, I grew up in an environment without much encouragement, and I grew up around people working with other musicians, especially that were, you were kind of afraid to show them because it becomes theirs.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's a really rough stigma to get over. And it's also something that even at 25 years old, being a full-fledged adult and with many years of distance between me and those experiences, I still kind of struggle with.
It's something that follows you. I mean, it's something that it's just difficult to do. The Kiba, Connor, it's so difficult being an artist. Oh my God. But like putting yourself out there like that is difficult, to create something that is, personal to you, that you have spent so much time in, to then show someone else. And
you face a lot of judgment.
Yes, there's that potential of, okay. And it's like, shit, I spent a lot of time on this. And
These people
Okay. Yeah.
And as much as it's outward judgment, you also face the inner judgment of the fact that you hear things differently when other people are listening to them too.
Yes.
And a lot of musicians are afraid to talk about that. I hear my songs differently when I'm alone in my studio working on them than I do when I'm showing the two of you or when I'm showing even my significant other.
That makes sense.
Not even that the songs are different. We just notice different things,
Yeah.
you know? And that's a tough hurdle to get over because sometimes you just have to stomach the fact that this song doesn't and will never sound the same now that people have heard it. Because it changes my perspective as the writer of the song on what the song is now.
That's not something I've ever thought of, but I've never put out a song or anything.
It's the same thing when you write a poem or you put out a novel. The interpretation that the reader has becomes the interpretation that is spread as the fact.
Yeah.
I have also never put out a poem or a novel.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Exactly that, of someone who is well versed in any form of art, whether it be poetry, music. The people who are knowledgeable are going to understand the brushstrokes, what he meant by doing this and what he meant by doing this. And us as laymen will look at it and go, the sun looks pretty. And so it's the same exact way with music, where you are constantly being like, oh, did you notice this time change? And I'm like, yeah. It's because you know every single little thing that you were putting in, and you have such a more wealth of knowledge that a lot of that stuff goes over my head. I just look at it and go, man, this is cool. But you know why it's cool, and so it's different for you.
And that's the toughest part as the musician without musicians' friends.
Yes.
Because I don't have any friends in the scene. I don't have any friends that are connected with this stuff the way I am, which is part of the reason I get so excited talking about metal music with you, Connor, is because I connect with you on that.
Yeah.
But from a writing standpoint, I have to constantly fight myself on whether I'm writing for guys like me or I'm writing for guys like everyone else.
You should be writing for yourself, Kiba.
Yeah.
Write for yourself.
You should to a degree, but there's also a degree of understanding the way other people understand.
Right.
And for instance, if I was telling you a story, I would word it in the way that I thought you'd understand best.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing a song, sometimes I have to concede and I have to portray whatever I'm trying to portray in the way I know the most people will connect with it. That's why artists like Taylor Swift are big. It's not because they're good at writing. It's because they're good at writing in a way that people understand.
Exactly.
You know?
That makes sense.
Anybody can connect with a Taylor Swift song because anybody from the start of the song to the end of it understands what's happening.
Man, how
Everybody's had
great,
a relationship.
how great is Taylor Swift, though?
You shut your fucking
How
mouth,
great
you
is
Swiftie.
she?
He is a Swiftie.
Dude, I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was listening to her on the way here.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Look at this fall weather we have out here. This is perfect Evermore weather.
This
Put on some Evermore. Nice, like 30-minute drive. Beautiful.
Love it, man.
But yeah, that's some of my music background is I have a actually fairly extensive career with various bands and artists, traveling, writing, and producing. I have a small studio where I produce most of the music you hear in our videos, as well as doing our audio work, and a significant amount of our rendering and editing comes through this workstation as well. It's been very handy for the channel. Yeah, constantly will be working on a project on my laptop, or Jake will send me a project, or even I have to send him a project because something's just not working. So having multiple high-end workstations is fucking amazing.
It is nice.
Makes
It is.
a big
It's
difference.
imperative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't do this without it.
No. So a lot of that knowledge actually gets to go to work on the channel. And it's been very nice getting to use it and being able to flex some of those skills some. But that's a little bit of my background. Jake, let us know on your background. Tell us about some of the movies.
Yeah, I am technically a professional filmmaker.
Yeah, boy. That's what he is.
Oh,
yeah.
gross to say.
Big dick shit.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I bet you can all tell how much ass this man got in college.
Lots. Everyone loves an artist. So yeah, I mean, I love movies. I've loved movies ever since I was a little kid, and it's something that I've always wanted to pursue. It's something that I've been interested in making and trying to tell stories. And as a young man, I went, I could never do that. Why would I be able to do that?
Make movies, you say? Not with these hands. Not with these hands.
No. So I danced around it for a long time. I went after, different degrees and different professions and tried different things. And then finally was like, man, I'm getting older. Let's just do it, man. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And so I jumped into it, and I went to film school and met some people and started making stuff. And it's been a blast. I absolutely love doing it. I wish I got to do it more, but believe it or not, it's hard. It's very difficult.
It is. It's also very expensive and takes a tremendous amount of collaboration.
People who make things on their own don't exist. You always have to have other people like
people who make things on their own are like us, and there's really still 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And so now that we have 3 of us and we are in a place where we are getting better equipment and we have more of this kind of chemistry and this knowledge and everything, I am excited to get to the place where we can start actually doing shorts and short films and music videos and doing things that I can kind of flex those creative muscles and actually get to film things. And
That's something I'm excited for. I would love to be a part of some skits and shorts and stuff.
yeah.
I think that's the direction that we're all the most excited to head. We all kind of have a thing that we are heading up when it comes to the channel. Of course, I take care of most of the creative writing and editing, and then the main series gameplays. Jake takes care of the side series gameplays, and then a bulkhead of the creative endeavors when it comes to live action, such as directing, writing as well, and realistically, almost all the camera work. I do 50% of the camera work when it comes to the smaller, shittier things, but all the
Smaller shitty. No,
Yeah.
nothing shitty here. Nothing shitty here.
But all of the very high-end, very important things, I rely solely on Jake to go, no, this is what we need. No, do it this way.
The way you're doing it is stupid.
Yeah, see what you're doing there? Never again.
I don't think that we have ever mentioned this anywhere in any form, but last October, man, we almost shot a 20-page short film. We were literally a week away from doing it. It all fell through.
It
I don't think
was
I knew about that.
not even a week. It was like 6 or 7 days, and then they just went, sorry, doors are closed. And
Oh,
yeah,
sons of bitches.
yeah.
You would come to me with a very vague, loose idea, and you were like, man, I'm kind of excited about this. This is my idea. You sent me a Google Doc with a kind of very rough bullet pointed.
I
kind
had
of direction.
16 bullet points in there, and they were all stupid, shitty things like, I want this shot to happen, and this is the story, and when you open the door here, this will happen.
And I looked at that and made it was 21 pages. I think it's actually
it's over there somewhere, but yeah, 21 pages, dude.
Yeah, a little short film that I'm still honestly really proud of.
I'm really proud of it too, especially because you took my word vomit over the course of 3 weeks. Because I made him one document, and then I made a second document, and then we word vomited hard one day, and I sent him a bunch of notes, and he took that and made essentially a beautiful short film script out of it and gave it to me, and I was like, holy shit, dude, this is exactly what I meant.
What is stopping you guys from still making it?
Location and budget.
Location and budget.
Which
Okay.
budget, we only need like $300-ish worth of stuff. It's been mostly the location, which I may have found one, and I'll tell you guys about that later today.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. That's exciting. Yeah, it revolves around a hotel, and I have looked at it, and I think you've probably looked at it and tried to think, well, can we maybe film it somewhere else? And you could, but it would take away from so much of the story and what I think both of us were drawn to about it.
The idea of the film itself revolves very heavily around the concept of a space that is normally constantly inhabited, but not visibly inhabited.
It's that,
if you ever
it's
go
touching
to
on that liminal space kind of aspect.
If you ever go to a hotel, you know there's always people there, but you very rarely see them after 11 p.m. 11 p.m., there's not even anyone at the desk. You go to get ice from the ice machine, and there's just a subtle hum and these flickering yellow lights in the hallway everywhere. But you know there are people there. You just don't know where. So imagine that you're in that space now, and there actually aren't any people there. That feeling it would give you of almost like being in an empty airport, you know?
Yeah, very, very subtle and very creepy.
A place that is never actually empty, but constantly feels empty. Constantly feels like you're not being paid attention to.
Is that what your short film is kind of based on?
That's the concept it came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called something. We can give away the title because it doesn't give away anything else.
Yeah.
But the title,
Which I actually love. I love
do
that
too.
name. It's so simple. What is it?
something.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where it comes from. Actually, is me and Jake's characters communicate a few different times throughout the short film, and the general consensus is that there is something wrong.
Yeah. We keep having these feelings and these moments that something is happening, but we don't know what, and things just feel off.
Something is very, very wrong somewhere in the world.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outside of that, I have also I have made a movie that I am still in the process of putting together. And it's fun. I'm having a great time. It's so much fun.
That sounds enthusiastic.
It's just so much work. Again,
And-
making a short film or a short at this level is tough. Making a feature film at this level is nigh to impossible.
Once
Does-
again, it feeds back to that collaborative effort issue. I think that's what we're running into, or what you're running into the most right now on that project, is you just are struggling to get people to finish stuff.
To finish stuff for the very, very minuscule amount of money that we're able to pay them. That's what it comes down to. Again, if we had more money,
They would be working a lot quicker.
it would be easier.
Yeah.
But here we are at very small manpower, very small budget. And it's exciting. I mean, I am still very proud of the movie. It's something that I've watched hundreds upon hundreds of times at this point. And despite how frustrating it is to finally get it over that final little hurdle to full completion, and it's just a lot of work and a lot of time that I just realistically don't have the time for. And
Yeah.
trying to find the time to do it is difficult.
And that's the same issue that we're running into for a lot of our channel stuff. Is right now it's just finding the time. We
Yeah.
have all these fucking wonderful ideas and all these awesome concepts, and it's just finding the time.
We have, all three of us have 40-hour jobs outside of this, significant others,
Yeah.
whole lives that we go on and live.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I just got through a move like 2 weeks ago. It's going into Christmas season, which is just going to be busy for a little bit for all of us.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be expensive.
But yeah, man.
well,
This,
before we get too far away from it, you're making a movie, dude. That's super fucking rad. And I brag about you to all my homies.
Thank you.
Before he even met you, I bragged about you making a movie to him.
I
did.
appreciate
You
that. I
did.
appreciate that.
I try to be, you guys clearly try to do the same, but I try to do that for all of my friends. If they have the
Yeah.
thing they're working on, I try as hard as I can to be there and be present and hyped as fuck for
Yeah.
whatever they're working on, because holy shit, it's hard to do anything, and the fact that you're doing anything at all is cool as fuck.
Thank you, man. I do appreciate that.
Believe me, we both work on the same YouTube channel, so you know how hard it can be some days to get up and go, oh, I gotta edit this video.
Just got home from work. Tired as shit. Well, got to sit down at the computer. Okay.
I
let's
can't
go.
imagine doing that for a script and then cameras and then editing and then Foley, and like the amount of work you've had to put in is monumental, and it's very cool.
Whenever we were doing
What
pre-production for the movie, 3 weeks until our shoot date, I think I was putting in 40 hours at my normal job that pays, and then I was putting in minimum another 40 hours just of pre-production work every single day, and probably more than 40,
Yeah.
of just going, okay, what are we missing? This is our shot list. This is our, okay, oh shit, everyone's wearing different wardrobe because our movie takes place over the course of an entire year. So everyone, we have to,
Almost no overlap.
there's very little. So it's looking at, okay, this page is shooting on this day. What should they be wearing? Okay, what are they wearing here? And just going from that.
I will say, I remember the first time you sent me a copy of it, and I went home and I watched it, and the next day I came in and we talked about the classroom scene with the crying, and I don't know if we ever talked about this, but I remember standing next to the paper section telling you about that scene, and your face, you were so ecstatic, because you could tell I'd watched it, and I watched it and remembered something.
And we're able to appreciate it
Yeah.
on some level.
And we were able to discuss something, and it was just awesome, and I was like, oh man, this guy needs it.
Yeah.
More
I
people
did.
need to encourage this man. He's doing something cool.
See, I was going to chime in a second ago and go, dude, you've got crying in your movie, you fucking pussy.
There's actually a lot of
It's a really fucking sad movie, dude.
it's kind of an emotional roller coaster for everyone.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, we've covered our backstories. Connor, my man, tell us about yourself.
Where'd you come from?
There you go.
I mostly grew up in Florida. I was born here in Oklahoma, but went down to Florida very early on.
That's funny. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Scrub.
Had a super good childhood. I'm grateful for it every day of my life. My mom and my grandma raised me and just did the best job they ever could. When I was younger, I was real into skateboarding, and that is my first true love. That is what I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. And I don't skate much anymore nowadays. I've got a cruiser board, longboard that I'll skate up and down hills with and stuff sometimes. but I can't afford to hurt myself and miss work and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Spider collection, big animal lover. I will advocate for any animal on the planet, even spiders and nasty looking fucking worms and whatever it may be.
What's your favorite animal? Do you have like a favorite one that you go, man, this is it?
Oh man,
Connor.
see, there's
Connor, big animal lover.
see, I have sex with them, but ultimately I have no idea. I know dogs are like they touch my heart more than anything else.
Yeah,
I spend more time with my dog.
A dog will walk into the store at work and Connor fucking lights up like a
Yeah,
Christmas tree.
yeah.
Melts into a puddle.
My
so excited.
My dream pet is a tree monitor lizard. Those things are fucking sick. It's a smart ass lizard and they're just agile. They jump everywhere. And I've read that they have the temperament of a dog. Like if you have them in an enclosure out in the living room, when you get home from work, they start trying to claw out and jump on your shoulders and shit. And I think that's cool. I would love that.
That is cool.
So what I'm learning is Connor just likes to be loved back by animals. So
Yeah.
His favorite animals are the ones that love you too.
Well, I have that
I
tarantula.
need them to fall under my will.
Yeah, I would love it if they came at my every beck and call.
I've got that tarantula collection and that chameleon, and they all couldn't care if I lived or died. They preferred I'd leave them the fuck alone. Recovering addict that still says I love heroin. But yeah, truthfully, I guess I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, you got most of your life right there, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty concise explanation.
Summed up to
Big
a full
bullet
bullet.
points.
Yeah, how does that feel?
It's good.
Whole life right there.
Yeah. Within like 7 bullet points.
I like trains.
I like turtles.
All right, boys. How about we pivot to a few games?
Games?
Oh, dude, I love games.
Have I judged correctly? You guys like some motherfucking video games.
Oh, dude.
No.
Shut your fucking... Dude, this is a...
Sorry.
I have
Right here in his hands.
right here, right now, a game called Game Case Trivia.
In this envelope.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
Here we go, boys. This is for a lot of cred. So
Street cred or just like
I almost
credits?
said that.
just credits, you know.
What
You
can we use them on?
you can turn them in for some Jake bucks, and you.
What do you use Jake Bucks for?
If you can save up 1,000 Jake bucks, I will come to your house and I will cook dinner for you.
Mom, get the whiteboard out. We gotta keep tally.
We're saving up. All right, I am going to read the back splash page of a video game case.
Oh God, I've never read one of those in my life.
Tell me the game.
All right, I'm so ready for this.
I think you
I'm
both will be
so ready for
exceptional.
this.
I'm ready.
I have a pretty wide array of games. Some a little older, some a little newer, some in between. So get ready, boys. Get ready.
Hit me.
First one. The Covenant controls Earth.
Halo 3.
That is correct.
Damn.
That is correct.
Because the Covenant are on Earth.
That is.
Man, you said Earth. and I was like, I hope you're wrong because they're not on Earth.
Oh, that was the first one. Easy to go.
How many Shroot Bucks did I get?
Shroot bucks.
12. Write it on the whiteboard. All right. Game case 2. Hell's armies have invaded Earth.
Doom 3. 2.
Become the Slayer in an epic single-player campaign to conquer demons across dimensions and stop the final destruction of humanity.
Duke Nukem.
The only thing they fear is you.
Doom 1998.
You're close. Doom.
2.
You're very close
Doom
with Doom
3.
Doom 2
The
could also
entire
be called
Doom Slayer.
Doom Dose.
a new version
Doom.
of Doom 2 would be called
Doom Dose Remastered.
Doom 2, the set sail for ass. Doom R something, right? Revelations.
I've got no idea.
Yeah, Doom
I know you know it. I know you know it, Kiba.
Doom Apocalypse.
Boys and girls, it's Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal.
Idiot.
Doom Eternal. I got it, guys.
You got it. You got it.
24 Shroot Bucks right there.
I take away 24 Jake Bucks. You're now negative.
Man.
Shut your fucking mouth.
All right, game case 3. Living as a man Outside the shadow of the gods, Kratos, along with his son, Atreus,
God of War 3.
must venture into
Atreus is in it, dude. That's the new ones.
God of War 4.
God of War Ragnarok.
and Kiba gets it again.
He said God of War 4. That was like fucking 2013, dude. Not the new one.
Whatever, dude. Next.
All right,
Back
all
in
right,
zero
all right.
street bucks.
You're even. Save the world or conquer it. Mistaken for a dark, villainous hedgehog
Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Adventures.
and kidnapped by a military squad. Sonic must escape his captors and discover who is responsible for his troubles.
Sonic the Hedgehog Dr. Robotnik.
With 6 playable characters for everyone, I am motioning towards Connor very, very aggravated.
And it stressed me out. I don't know what to say. I don't know what.
With 6 playable characters.
Sonic Adventures 2.
Yeah, and Kiba gets it again.
I know, because my necklace is from it.
Okay.
Next one. Discover a world unknown. After a secretive agency in New York is invaded by an otherworldly threat, you become the new director, struggling to regain blank. From developer Remedy Entertainment, this supernatural third-person action adventure will challenge you to master the combination of supernatural abilities, modifiable loadouts, and reactive environments while fighting through a
Resident Evil 3.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Not quite.
Battlefield 2.
No Remedy fans in the house.
Never played Remedy.
Control?
It is Control. It is Control.
Why is
Is Remedy a game?
No,
That's
Remedy's
the
a development studio.
Never. I don't know.
Alan Wake.
Scrub.
In my defense, these are
No.
all games I've never played before.
You played the shit out of Halo. What are you fucking
I did. You're right. I
We
did.
played it together.
You're absolutely right. I did.
You and me co-opted Halo.
I
Motherfucker.
forgot Halo was one of the things.
It was the first one.
All right, next one. A top operative missing. A ship abandoned. When agents investigate, they encounter a terror that will push them beyond the limits of sanity.
Resident Evil Revelations.
Resident Evil Revelations. That one was just for Kiba. I tried to find the most obscure, small blurb that I could find to see if he would get it, and he did.
Immediately. You guys know that I spend all of my time on the internet reading and sucking in information. How many times at work do I randomly hit you with a stupid ass game fact? I'm like, well, by the way, in 1988, when this game was developed.
All right, next one. Blank is back in the latest installment of the critically acclaimed series. Top secret weapons technology is being mysteriously transported under cover of an oil tanker to an unknown destination. Armed with an arsenal of new weapons, supplies, and stealth maneuvers,
Is this Metal Gear Solid 2?
it is Metal Gear Solid 2.
Dude, get laid or something sometimes.
Oh, sorry. I'm pushing you into debt.
Oh, all right, last one, boys, last one. Welcome to Blank. As you battle your way across a heat-blasted Mojave wasteland to neon-drenched Blank, you'll be introduced to a colorful cast of characters, factions, special weapons.
know this one.
Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
That's incorrect.
No.
Mutated creatures, and much more. Choose sides in the upcoming war, or declare winner takes all in this follow-up to 2008 Blank.
You already know what this is.
Enjoy your stay.
Bioshock.
Feel the heat in Blank.
Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas. Kiba has swept it.
Still to the end of that quiz, I played Halo 2.
Well done. Well done to you both. Everyone, round of applause.
I don't
well
wanna
done.
hear it. I
Well
don't
done.
wanna
Well
hear
done. Well done.
No, but you deserve a round of applause. It's the only award you're going to get.
At the end of that, Kiba is up to 122 Shroot Bucks. And by Shroot Bucks, I mean Jake Bucks.
I can't wait to find a quiz that you don't know a goddamn answer to.
All right, boys.
Come up with something.
We have one more game,
Maybe I'll do better on
'cause I
this
have
one.
to pee.
and it's called Totally Not a Hypothetical Situation.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
I
that
love this
sounds
game.
fun.
What is
All
this
right.
game?
So I will read you a hypothetical situation. You have to tell me what you would do.
Read it to me.
Okay.
Are we taking turns? Is it him then me or?
I feel.
Free format.
We'll let you pick. We'll decide at the beginning.
I think we should probably just both answer the questions just one at a time.
That's what I was saying. Like you then me, or me then you.
Oh. Okay. I'll go first.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Totally not a hypothetical situation. $100K a year to be murdered. You receive $100,000 each year, tax-free, in your pocket, cash. However, at some point in the year, you will be murdered. You wake up the next morning completely fine. You will, however, feel the pain each time, no matter what it is. Your friends and family won't remember you were murdered as if it didn't happen. It could happen at any day of the year, completely at random. It will be 100% random who it's by, what murder they choose to do, but it happens once a year. What do you do?
Real quick before you answer. Only once a year though.
Only once a year.
Only one murder a year.
Calendar year. From
Okay.
January 1st to December 31st. The murder could be
Gotcha.
December 31st and then January 1st, and you'd be basically clear for 2 years.
Okay.
Calendar year.
So if I get murdered January 1st, am I dead all year until January 1st again?
You wake up the next morning.
day.
Next morning.
Yeah, next
Okay.
day.
Any South Park fans in the house? This is a Kenny situation. You die, everyone freaks out, you wake up the next morning, everything's fine.
I think I would do it. Because I don't know why, but in my heart and soul, I kind of believe that most murders don't last more than a couple minutes. So I don't think that's going to be too much suffering.
I'm the murderer.
It's happening right now.
Where's my 100K?
So you would go for it?
Yeah, I think I'd go for
You'd
it.
go for it?
Yeah,
That's a bold choice.
I think I
Bold
would.
choice.
Well, I guess that's thinking too deeply into it. I was going to say, when is my actual solidified death? Do I just die by natural causes?
I think your
eventually?
death stays the same. Like you're whenever you would die. It's just-
Whenever you would die,
So you might think that this is the death that's going to get you 100K. You might just let it happen, and that might be it for you.
yeah. Whatever your
Oh my God, you're getting mugged. The mugger's about to kill you, and you go, "Fuck yeah!"
well.
Get
About to
stabbed
get
in the gut,
paid.
and instead of waking up, you go, "Oh God,
This is it.
Oh God, call 911."
and then it's over.
Yeah.
You don't get any money this time.
I would take it too.
Yeah.
Mainly because I die every day a little.
Yeah, honestly, I think I would too.
Think about how refreshing it would be to wake up from death.
Yeah,
A
right.
whole new you.
And honestly, it would probably give you kind of a new perspective on life to die once a year, to be like, oh, death, I've done that before.
I was just about to say that. You might gain some insight on some things.
Do you get to decide when you die?
No, it's 100%
It's just
random.
so you couldn't go, well, I'm going to skydive today without a chute because
I mean,
that
you
sounds
could
like a
hit the
fun.
ground and
I
would
think-
probably die for real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would be your official death.
See, that's what's unfortunate because if I could pick when the death is, fuck yeah, I would be like, well, I want to go. I'm gonna go meet a leper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with the lepers. I'm just gonna give them a big old hug, shoot myself in the jaw, and then wake up tomorrow without leprosy.
Wow. Pretty unanimous around the horn. Everyone is fucked up and looking to die.
You taking it?
Yeah, I would take it.
I
yeah.
figured
Oh,
you
for
would.
sure. Yeah, with that
Yeah, you
Okay.
broke
Back.
motherfucker.
you kidding me? Yeah.
I could use 100 grand every year.
Believe it or not, that's kind of life-changing money for all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 4 times what I make in a year.
Right.
Yeah.
About.
Not quite me.
Shut your fucking mouth, dude.
So anyways, totally not a hypothetical situation. You receive $100,000 untaxed, cash, but only if you can hide something without 100 people finding it within 24 hours.
Oh,
The item you have to hide would be a small blue ping pong ball with your signature on it. Cannot be forged. You have to hide it within 1 mile radius of your place of residence. It is hidden in a public place, however you choose to do that. 100 detectives are assigned to try and find this specific ball. They have 24 hours. If they fail, you get $100,000. If they do find it, jail. You are in prison, no way of getting out.
You mind if I?
go ahead. I'm thinking.
Okay. I currently have $60 to my name. How much does 100 blue ping pong balls cost?
Interesting.
I would buy as many as I could afford with the money I have, hide them, starting in the most obvious places, then the most non-obvious places.
Right.
And then the other one, I would just keep in my hand with 2 handfuls of ping pong balls, and I would let them catch me hiding them.
Very interesting.
That way they're going to check
the one they
everything
have
else.
to find does have your signature on it. That is the official one. But you could probably still take all the other ones and still put your signature on.
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm gonna
It's
do
just one of them.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna do absolutely everything I can to make these detectives gaslight each other into thinking they've all won.
I'm gonna be pretty honest, man. That's a solid answer.
Yeah, that I feel like that's going to be hard to top.
100 detectives. Do you think?
I think.
I mean, a 1 mile radius.
I
that's
think
a
they would for sure catch on to me, but I only have to keep it hidden for 24 hours,
24
right?
hours. Yeah.
So I've hidden half of the ones I have. I keep hiding them,
Yeah.
Are
and
these,
in the ones I hide, eventually, I do hide the real one.
Yeah. And it's just a numbers game.
Yeah, that way, whenever one of them finally decides, I'm gonna go check the bag he's got.
Yeah.
It's already been hidden.
It's already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
are any of these detectives steady watching you?
Oh, for sure. There's 100 of them in a mile radius. There,
I would
the whole
imagine
time.
at least 1 or 2 are probably on you.
Yeah. So I've signed them all, and I'm hiding them. I still have the real one, and I'm letting them find them, and then I hide the real one as I go because they're not going to be checking the ones I just hide.
Yeah.
You know what I would do?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
I would go Super Saiyan.
Like 4?
Whatever, and just kind of float in the sky holding my ping pong ball. That way they could never just get me. They couldn't grab a ladder and put it up on anything because there's nothing to put it up because I'm in the middle of the sky, and if I have to hide it, I'll just shove it up my ass.
There's 100 of them. One of them's gonna dig up there, man.
Also, when did you get Super Saiyan powers?
I've always had them in this situation, in this totally not a hypothetical situation.
Fuck, he's got us.
I mean,
he's got us.
there's no way to prove it.
Yeah, he's got
There's
it.
no way to prove it.
Go Super Saiyan and just chill up in the air for a little bit. They can't reach me.
Yeah,
They probably do have guns.
I'm Super Saiyan.
yeah, that doesn't mean you're bulletproof.
Pew, pew, pew. That's what I
Just
do.
Goku block him with his hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he makes that sound himself. Too.
Yeah. If I have to, just
Well, I guess-
steer a bomb at the planet so the fucking detectives are dead now.
That's also a sound strategy.
I guess that settles this one.
I'm going to commit 100 murders to make $100,000.
Yeah,
There will be no repercussions from that.
these detectives that work for federal agencies.
Fuck them.
All right, one more. Last one. Hey, guys, totally not a hypothetical situation, but you have to restart school from 1st grade all the way through 12th grade. You get $1 million every year. So you have to go back to school from the start of 1st grade all the way through 12th and graduate. In the 1st grade, you get $1 million. 2nd grade, upon completion, $1 million, so on and so forth. You have to complete all assignments, all homework, all projects, papers, exams. You have to attend class, everything just like you were in high school. There's no skipping grades. There's no weird loopholes. You get no special treatments just because you are a 20-something man in 1st grade. You have to complete all of the, cutting paper and trying to write your A's like you normally would. If you get caught cheating, if you fail a class, you drop out, anything like that, you do not graduate. The deal is off, and the money that you earned, now you owe.
I would absolutely do it.
Yeah,
That one's easy.
110%. Yeah, no.
12 years
I didn't make it the first time, but I could for sure do it this time.
with,
Is it like a Billy Madison situation where I go back to the 1st grade, but I'm still 31 years old?
Oh, yeah, you're you.
Yeah.
You are
really?
like,
Right.
Okay.
and your teachers treat you no different.
Yeah.
Then absolutely.
You are
You are not
functionally,
done until,
you are functionally a child.
yeah,
Okay. Hell yeah.
yeah.
Wait, you said functionally?
You're like right now.
Okay. Then yeah.
Yeah, I also thought that was for sure like, yeah. of
No
course.
brainer.
Yeah, of course. 12 years from now, I'll be like fucking 40. Whatever, I'll have $12 million.
Yeah.
And also, guys, my nephew's in 1st grade right now. Dude would be fucking stoked to have me in
Think
his
about how
class.
Hell yeah,
fucking
it would.
cool it would be with me pulling up to the 3rd grade in a Hayabusa.
Yeah, boy.
No parking problems here.
None.
There's always a spot for third grade Kiba, I guess.
3rd grade Kiba. He's got his spot out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Man, that's it, man. That's our games. We all did it.
Hell yeah.
Well done.
I did
That's
really
perfect.
good on that first one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. You
did
crushed
so
it.
good.
Hell
You did
yeah.
so good. I'm so proud of you.
But here we are at the end of this podcast. Every podcast, I want us to do this where we do something called the recommended page, where we just go around and something that we've really enjoyed over this past week, we can just try and direct people to go check out. Anything you want to try and garner attention to, whatever that may be. Who wants to start us?
Got us. So there's a YouTuber. I've been watching him for years. He's always been a staple and just a steady backdrop for me. His name is Steak Bentley. He does some wonderful videos on Cowboy Bebop. He's got one on Metal Gear Solid 4 and also, more recently, one on the Venture Brothers. Wonderful content creator. He has a lot of issues with anxiety and stuff, so he doesn't upload super religiously. But if you have the time, check him out. Great content. Wonderful work for the scripting. On to you.
I feel like Kiba had a much better answer than I did, but I have been playing a video game recently called Lies of P. It's a Souls-like game. I've heard a lot of people say it's one of the more difficult Souls-like games out there, but it's actually my first one. They're supposed to be releasing some DLC for it pretty soon. There's supposed to be a sequel within the next few years, and I have just been loving it. I recommend it.
It's supposed to be the hardest, but it's my first one.
And I just
It
finished
is.
it. I'm crushing it. Yeah, fuck yeah. Steak Bentley and Liza P. Check it out, everyone.
Yeah. What about you, Jake?
For me, I have two actually.
Bragging.
I know. It came out
the
last
second one.
fall, I believe, but if you haven't seen it, check out Shogun. I've mentioned it in some videos. It just won an Emmy, several Emmys. It is some of the most beautiful filmmaking I have seen in a long time. Stellar cast, stellar acting, direction. Everything is gorgeous. The writing is beautiful. It is about, I won't say too much just because I think it's better to just go into it, but it is set in like a feudal Japan with this like civil war kind of looming. And it is these 5 different people kind of vying for power. And I know that might make you kind of think Game of Thrones. It's not like that at all. It is very, very good. I would suggest everyone check it out.
I think I saw a thing saying that is it a show or a movie?
It's a show. It's I think 8-episode show.
Yeah, it takes place during the Edo period.
I think I've read that it got perfect like 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 scores in like every single one of the big rating companies, I guess. I don't know what you would call them. But essentially it just got the perfect score that it could possibly get.
I know one thing's for sure about this though. It 110% without any shadows of a doubt got better ratings than Borderlands the movie.
I might need some sources on that, Kiba. I don't know if I believe you.
What was the second thing you were going to shout out?
The second one, it is an album from 2007. I have been listening to it a lot lately. It's an album I like a lot, and how I go about music is I get super obsessed with one album for about 2 weeks, and then I don't listen to it again for months and months and months.
Sometimes years.
And then you come back to it and go right back in like you never left. And I'm at the tail end of that period where I've just been listening to this album a ton. It is Fight with Tools by Flowbots. And
Okay.
it is some of the older people out there might remember Handlebars, their one and only hit.
I remember that very well.
It's a great song, and this is the album that it's from. There's a ton of good stuff on this album. It's a album from 2007, and it is all political hip hop. So it is for its time, but it is incredible work. And yeah, everyone go check it out. Their later albums are also good too, but this is the one that's my favorite for sure.
Well, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'll give it a listen this week.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
there you go. Check it out. All right, boys. Hey, guys. This was totally not a podcast.
This was
Hell
totally
yeah.
not a podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone check out the channel, leave a comment on the video, tell Kiba we love him and appreciate him, but this world would be a much better place without him.
All right, boys. Hey, love you.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye.